Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Duplex Build to Rent. Today, we're going to be talking about firewalls. That is the next step of where we're at on this ground up new construction duplex. My name is Juan Cristales. I build duplexes. This is something that you want to learn. Please like, please subscribe. I'd love to have you guys on this journey with me to watch and see how this whole process goes through. So right now on this particular corner duplex that we have going on here, as you can see, we have a street on this left-hand side, and then we have a street on the bottom. And you see the corner here of the street. This one is going to have a little bit of a different setback. So you see right here on the right-hand side, it says 5 foot, and on the left-hand side, it says 15. The reason for that is because this side, the MLK side, is considered the road frontage. So we'll have an entrance here and we'll have another entrance here. And then basically the duplex gets split in half through here. So because it gets split through the middle right here, what that means is that that needs to be a fire rated wall. So it's a 1 hour fire rated wall. The reason in Texas it has to be a 1 hour fire rated wall is because this is a duplex, not to be confused with a townhouse. A duplex is going to be one lot, 2 units. One lot, 2 units, and that's why we're doing a 1 hour fire rated wall. So let's talk a little bit about that. So these are the plans that we submitted to the city that got approved. And so we're going to be moving down here on the plans. As you can see, this is all the stuff that we submitted. There's the engineered stamped plans, all that stuff. Everything's good. That's the stuff for the framers. And then we get here to the bracing detail page. And then if you look here on the left-hand side, it says 1 hour fire rated wall section between units. And then it gives you here notes for a 1 hour fire rated. It gives you the UL code here that you can look up for more specific details if that's what we're going to go through. But I mean, for your education, if that's something that you want to look up and it's important, I would highly encourage you to look that up so you have a better understanding of that. But what I'm going to do right now is just give you a basic, quick rundown of how the firewall is built and why it's important to, have it constructed. The city will not allow you to build 2 units without a firewall, so you have to learn this part. Now, I used to be intimidated about this, but I tell you, at the end of the day, this has gotten so much easier for me because we've done it so many times now. So let me explain to you how this thing works. All right, we're going to be starting at the bottom here because that's how we build it. So again, ground up, right? So this is going to be the base plate. So real quick here, it says the finished floor line. So we got, that just means the concrete slab, the foundation. So on top of the foundation, we're going to put that 2x6. The reason we do a 2x6 is because that's what the code says. That this particular wall, instead of being a 2x4 wall, has to be a 2x6 wall. Okay? And then it says P just means southern yellow pine. That's a base plate, and then it has to be bolted to the slab. Okay? And I showed you guys pictures of that on a previous video. Now, moving on to the next section here, it says 5/8 fire rated gypsum board. Don't get freaked out by that because all that is sheetrock. There's a specific X-rated, fire-rated sheetrock that they sell at Home Depot that's specific for this, all right? It might cost an extra 25 cents or 40 cents per sheet. It's not that much more expensive, I promise, guys. But that's part of this process here. Moving up next is going to be the 2x6 number 2 Southern Yellow Pine stud at 16 inches on center. So the separation as we're going across building this thing, right, has to be 16 inches on center. So let me show you kind of what they're talking about there once this wall is getting done. So like, say for example, they put the base plate down and it's like 16 inches. Every 16 inches you have to have another 2x6 stud that goes all the way to the ceiling. All right, that's all that means. Nothing too crazy there. Let me shift back over to where we were and we'll finish this off real quick. And then basically all it says is that, we have to take the sheetrock all the way to the top, all the way to the roof deck, continuous 2x6 stud, and 5/8 inch fire rated gypsum board each side. So on both sides, we have to have the fire rated wall and we have to have the insulation on the inside. So very, very simple design for a firewall. And that is a code requirement. And that is also the requirement for what the city wants us to do. So we're going to make sure that that gets done. One of the other small requirements that the city has for us as well that, they're a little bit adamant about, which is cool, it's not a big deal, is to ensure that the sheetrock also extends out to here, okay? So most of the time let me show you what we do most of the time. Most of the time we do the sheetrock all the way up to here, and most cities are okay with that. It's not a big deal. The city of Willis, where we are, they're very specific. They're like, no, we need you to go all the way out to the eaves with the sheetrock. Fine. It's not a big deal. We just cut another extra little piece, so the guys out there do that, and then we just take care of that business. It's not a big deal. 22, and then the R30 is going to be, what the? All right, guys. So now we're at a point where we have permit 250061, and this is a pass for the installation. So as you can see right here, it says installation. That's for today. It looks like this person, when the inspector went out there earlier in the or after lunchtime, and they basically gave us a pass, and they made some notes on here. Again, you want to dig into these. You want to dig into these notes. You can ask Google if you want to ask Google about what this all means. But this is just, the walls. R13 value, R30 under the platforms and doors and windows are sealed. So they're just basically giving us a pass. Now, remember, it's a duplex. You have 2 electrical meters, 2 water meters, 2 sewer taps. That means that each unit has to have its own permit. And here's the other one for the other side, which is going to be RES 250062. That's all I got for you guys today. Thanks so much for watching. We're going to finish off the firewall tomorrow. I'm going to show you guys pictures of that. Then we're going to call for the inspection for that particular firewall. And then after that's all done, we can go ahead and start covering everything up, putting all the sheetrock up. And that's the exciting part, because it now starts feeling like a real house. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you soon.